Welcome back to the fourth episode of the ProNo show. Today we are going to be doing the topic of, it's basically a console war topic. It's Wii U versus PS4 versus Xbox One.
So realistically, it's Xbox One versus PS4, right?
It's not true. Squirtle has feelings too.
Squirt. Hey,
What does Squirtle have to say about that?
Squirtle!
Okay.
All right, so
listen, it's harder for me to get Squirtle to talk than you. Okay.
So we're gonna also make sure that you follow the instructions on the bottom, scrolling to vote for your console of choice, based off of the people that are speaking, the debaters.
The debaters.
Anyway, so we got Neil representing Sony PS4.
I really should have wore something PS4 relevant.
We
None of us did.
We have Dave representing Microsoft.
Hi,
Xbox
I'm
One.
on the Xbox One.
And then
He ate
Joe
the
is
Xbox One.
hanging out. If you guys have any questions or anything, just he'll
Shout.
shout out and take care of you. And Squirtle over there is by himself representing Wii U.
Yeah. That
Squirtle!
All right, so let's move things along. We're gonna start off with opening statements. I know Neil, you wanna go in because of that. We're gonna start with David.
That's fair. That's fair.
was perfect.
Well, just so you know, Xbox One is just gonna win. Xbox One is fantastic, and that's it. So that's my opening statement. That is my opening statement right there.
All right. Neil, what's
I thought you were gonna go to Squirtle.
what? No, well, no. He goes last.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah, save the best for last. Neil.
Oh,
Come
okay.
on,
Sorry.
it's the best for last.
I mean, let's face it. Sony owns half the Xbox One anyway, because half the hardware in the Xbox One came from Sony. Second point, Sony got the better version of every piece of hardware that's in both consoles because they share the exact same architecture. And
It's not a good argument.
hold on, and let's look at the console defect ratio between the consoles and see how many people got screwed by Microsoft.
How many people got screwed by the PS4 in their update in December?
And they fixed it.
Whoa!
But you know
guys
what?
are getting ahead of yourself.
But at the same time,
That's why
no one
I'm
had to send their console back. Nobody had to
Plenty
send
of
a
people-
console back.
You have microphone notes.
The thing,
Yeah.
the thing is, people
Wow, this
sent
is
their
crazy. It's an opening statement and you're arguing with me. That's rude. You're a very bad debater. You go to the debate corner.
This is why I'm here, guys.
Okay.
Sorry.
Jesus. Does not know how to debate.
All right. So we're gonna start things off with the controversial.
You forgot Squirtle.
Man, Squirtle, what do you have to say about Wii?
Squirtle!
Okay. So we're gonna start off with performance and whether or not it matters. I'm gonna start with Neil this time. We're gonna alternate.
Yes, performance does matter, i.e., did you ever play Destiny on either console? You would notice a much better gameplay and much smoother graphics rendering on the PS4. And performance does matter to anybody who plays games. That's the Destiny. That's the reason why we keep pushing forward. If performance didn't matter, we'd all still be playing PlayStation 1s.
I don't think that performance matters to everybody. I mean, that's why we have things like the Wii U. Not a knock at it, but it delivers on other things. So I wouldn't say the performance matters to everybody. What do you think about performance?
Listen, if you look at the spec point of view, the PS4 wins. But you have to realize that Xbox is already optimized for cloud gaming, and not a lot of games utilize it right now. But eventually, a lot of games are going to start using cloud.
You do realize that Sony owns cloud gaming, right?
That doesn't
They
matter.
literally own every cloud gaming server in the world.
Doesn't mean that their PS4 are optimized for cloud gaming.
You sure?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you
but
looked it up?
all right.
Because it says on my spec sheet that it is.
It has
What-
cloud save. It
What
doesn't have
does
cloud.
Sony owning technology have anything to do with
Because
utilizing
something
it.
being better? I just want
It
more
just
clarification.
it just means that Sony's obviously going to make it render a little better for their console, which is already made better to render with it anyway. And B, they're going to get a cut of that money from Microsoft. Every time someone uses it, they're going to be like, "Where's my piece of the pie?" And I'm talking. I mean, Sony as a whole is just eating everything alive. They're getting the piece of everybody's pie.
It doesn't matter if they get a piece of the pie. It matters the console. Who gives a shit who gets a piece of the pie?
Oh,
I care
To
about
be
the pie.
to be fair, while Sony does
have some of the hardware or some of the
Software.
software that Microsoft is running. Sony is using Microsoft's hardware in their system.
No, Microsoft's using Sony's hardware.
Or, no, sorry, let's swap the other way around. Sony's using Microsoft's software.
Which software are they using?
The engine, not the engine, but the OS.
OpenGL?
Yeah, the OS that they use to run like their the system itself was made by Microsoft.
Well, because I know like OpenGL and DirectX 12 or 11 in this case.
Yeah, I mean even
Yeah.
if you still those as well. I mean both of them are kind of dipping into each other's kind of basket.
That's why I'm thinking that should not be a main point as to your argument, because they both take things from each other. Like so far, all I've heard is that Oni owns everything.
Oni?
Sony, whatever.
Learn to speak.
That was a fucking
Use your
great
words.
game.
Oni? Yeah, that's PS2, right?
Oh, I thought of
Yeah,
it
Sony.
Street Fighter.
It was
Sony
It's
owns
for Sony
everything.
platform.
But I think Joe brings up a good point. I don't think that. I'm sorry.
I said the same.
Well, there's a difference though. When a corporation uses software from another corporation, they pay a royalty fee or a licensing fee. When you use a piece of hardware, you physically pay for that piece of hardware per console. It's a little different.
Well, I mean, they probably are both still making bank off of it.
They have to be. I don't think Microsoft would be in the game if they're not making anything.
Well, no, because it's just like Sony did with the last generation. Sony creates the media formats because they know it's a constant revenue stream forever. It's like Microsoft got in the back pocket of Panasonic in the last generation, trying to push HD DVD or whatever, because they wanted to be with the next generation format
Was it
that was going to
Toshiba?
push forward.
I think it was. I think
You
it
mean
was
the
Toshiba
HDD, the hard?
The
that was
HD
doing
DVD.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was either Panasonic.
Yeah,
or
the
it
extra
was one of
peripheral
them.
for the 360
And then-
that nobody bought.
Yeah, well, no, people bought it. It failed miserably, and Best Buy actually issued refunds to people who bought it.
There was
Yeah.
there's a whole site that I don't know if it's still up, but you could send your HD DVDs and they'd send you the Blu-ray version. It would be like a conversion thing, and all you had to do was send the proof of purchase, and then you get to keep your cover art, and then they would do that. But whatever, that has nothing to do with
Yeah.
anything. But what that does have to do with is that's a business thing.
Yes.
How does that affect the consumer though?
Well, I mean, it definitely hampered the last generation for Microsoft. I mean, imagine if Microsoft would have, or no, sorry, not Microsoft, Sony would have been dicks and been like, no, you can't use Blu-ray in your next generation.
I'm pretty sure Sony can't do that because Microsoft says we have to do it.
Definitely can do that.
Well, I mean, that's
No, if
that's money
Microsoft
that
is-
Sony's losing out on.
Yeah, they're a business. They're in the business
yeah,
to make money.
I
They're
understand
not
what
in the
you're saying.
business
They
to
had the
fuck
rights
over
to
at
do it.
Microsoft.
That's,
Well, that is
but it
what
goes
the
into
business is.
a point I'm going to make later on
And
where
we don't know if they do have the rights to do that. Just because they own it doesn't mean they couldn't have made like a contract.
That's
or
just
something
true.
like that.
Don't they have like a format law? Like if they make a new format, you can't do anything. You have rights to it for
I
like 5 or
imagine-
6 years,
I
and
imagine
then
there's some sort of royalty or patent type thing that you get, because I know Microsoft gets $2 billion a year of just off of the patents that they have for Android related things.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they're getting a piece of that money. That's why you have to download the software onto the box probably, because they don't want to just automatically give it out for every system, only to the people that are using it.
yeah, makes sense. Anyway, I think performance wise, in just specifications, yes, the Xbox wins. I'm sorry, the PlayStation 4 wins, but the Xbox can contend with it because it's optimized to play games and render graphics from the cloud. And yes, a lot of games haven't utilized it
But-
yet,
but-
but you have to realize when the 360 came out, it wasn't utilizing everything either.
Hey, David.
What?
Hey, David. The cloud can only do what the system can put out. Unfortunately, Microsoft decided they wanted to buy cheap DDR3 GPUs, whereas Sony went with GDDR5 GPUs. They're a generation behind in their graphics rendering. So no matter how good your cloud-based games
It's-
or processing is, you'll never be able to render or
They-
perform as well.
It also depends on your connection, your internet connection, I'd imagine as well.
Well, but
And that's
I'm
a-
saying the actual physical ability of the system to put the graphics on the screen is limited because Microsoft went a cheaper route with the GPUs.
Okay.
I mean, they both did buy their GPUs from AMD. Just Microsoft went with the DDR3 ones, and Sony went with the GDDR5s.
do you think
They're
that,
both 8 gigabytes of RAM in them.
Do
though.
you think that the increase, the performance increase that Sony has over Microsoft at the moment, it's very marginal. Do you think that small little bit over is really that big.
Well,
of a
it's
big
only
deal.
marginal right now though because neither developer is really wanting to push their consoles because they're at the beginning of the shelf life. They want these things to last for a long haul. So why would they want to just put it to go from 0 to 100 right from the get go? They go from 0 to 20 and then 20 to 40, then 40 to 60. I mean, Joe, from a PC Master Race perspective, would you rather buy the cheaper graphics card and have decent graphics, or would you rather get the top of the line graphics card and be able to actually push performance?
If it was just PC, and I'm building.
Well,
my
these
computer,
are PCs.
Obviously, yes. I would rather my
And is it advantageous to have the better?
for graphics, but not necessarily for gameplay. Which is the reason why, granted, we're missing someone, but Nintendo is even here.
Yes.
Is because they cheaped out on everything. Everything.
Well, they
down
went
to
for fun factor.
Exactly. And them making it cheaper allowed for more people to buy it.
But,
Now, I mean, price point in this situation is not a big deal, but as far as the company making money, keeping the cost of their system down is not necessarily a bad thing. And if one of the things they choose to do that with
the
is
reason Sony was able to buy more is because they did not have to pay as many costs to build their console as Microsoft did because of royalties and licenses that were on the technology.
I wouldn't say it's because of that. It's probably mostly because of the Kinect. I think the Kinect is what really costs it. Because once you remove the Kinect,
Well, but they made the consumer pay for the Kinect.
well, at the start, I guess. But in the whole thing is they paid extra. I don't even know how good I'm picking up on this. I'll turn this around. Sorry how bad that sounds. But they.
Don't worry, no one's here to watch.
Yeah, people are here.
Miss Missy's here.
Miss Missy, what's up, Miss Missy? What was I gonna say? Yeah, I mean they paid the extra $100 for the system at launch was the Kinect, like hands down.
Yes.
And all the extra money they put into the software so it can pick up on the Kinect and for the system to flow with it. That's where I would imagine most of their money went into. Which makes it really sad now that you see them kind of like stepping away from it. But not to say that the Kinect is a bad thing at all. It's not. It's a really awesome thing. It's just developers didn't develop.
But it
for
also shows Microsoft's willingness to abandon ship on anything if it's.
I mean,
I don't think that's really
the
true
same.
because
You could say the same thing for Sony.
I'm
though.
pretty sure.
What Sony abandoned ship on?
They pretty much have abandoned the Vita. Like that system is.
Oh, they
abandoned.
definitely. have.
But that's not a console. That's a console.
Well, then you could
not
say
an
that the
art-
Kinect isn't really a console.
No, it's
either.
part of the console.
Not anymore.
It's a function. Well, it's a function of the console. Though.
Regardless, I mean that
It's
would be
not
like saying
self-standing.
your camera is a part of your system.
It is.
I'm not sure if you're fully aware, but they did say they were going to start bringing Kinect support back around the C3.
Well,
They've been making a
going
lot
on,
of
Miss
announcements.
Well, they're going to be bringing Kinect support back in the form of like Cortana and stuff like that.
Okay, that doesn't change the fact that they're not doing it.
It's never mind. It's game related support for the Kinect. They're not pushing like they were before for the actual games to be supporting and
Yeah,
incorporate
but
the Kinect.
Sony hasn't had a need to do that though. They
No,
haven't
not
had
at
a
all.
need because they had the PR from the very get go.
Oh yeah, and they're working on the Morpheus.
If they're not, which that's a whole other thing. I'm not even interested in Morpheus, but we'll see what happens with that.
I'm
But,
very
like,
interested in Morpheus.
Microsoft has its own virtual software.
Okay,
AR is
so
only
they
going to be for
haven't
Windows
had-
10 PC.
They haven't had a need
Okay.
to go back on anything that they talked about. So, I mean, if they were in the hot seat, who's to say that they wouldn't have done something similar?
Yeah, like the famous Xbox 160,
Xbox 160.
where they turn completely around, or 180, sorry, when they turn completely around on everything they were saying about the Xbox right before its release, like the always on function and all that
for the
stuff.
Xbox One, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's because a lot of people just didn't like it, and you have no choice as a company but to change things. And no one ever says, "Oh, good." No one ever says, "Good job for listening to your
player, your
customers."
base.
They'll say that about Sony all day long,
Yeah.
but when Microsoft goes back, they're like, "They're stupid. They didn't even stick to their guns."
It's it's a shitty.
Sorry for half mooning you guys just now. I just saw myself running back on the camera. I was like,
Maybe that's what the people want, Joe.
that's what they want, apparently.
That's what the people want. Vote anus for Joe's anus.
Anus. There is no prize for my anus. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna put it out there. I think it's rigged for the voting because I don't think that Xbox has a representation at all.
Well, no one's voted for Xbox yet.
Damn.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
I don't
one
know
vote
what to
for
tell
Wii
you.
and one vote for PS4.
I understand.
I don't know what to tell you.
That's their opinions.
By the way, guys, just throwing it out there at the bottom of the screen. I don't know if you can see that, but you can vote for your side of the argument. You could either hit
Oh, really?
what? What? Are you saying how it doesn't have the thing on the bottom?
Yeah.
It's because no one's voted yet.
Oh, okay.
Do you want
Okay.
the color scheme?
Yeah.
It's because no one's
Oh,
voted
okay.
yet.
Okay.
But
Two people have voted for. Which one's red?
66% Wii U and 33.3%.
Squirtle's killing it.
Squirtle's
Yeah.
killing it. Yeah, Squirtle's-
that's awesome.
All right, so that's where you guys' stance is on performance, and evidently it matters to Sony fans. I don't think it matters as much.
It matters to gamers. It does matter to
Not
gamers,
all
or else.
gamers.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. I've seen so many people say, "Oh, well, I got a PS4," but all my friends are playing Xbox, so I ended up getting an Xbox in the end anyway. Because guess what?
Whoa,
That's
whoa,
where
whoa, whoa. We're not talking about the console in this instance. We're talking about performance as a factor. Performance as a factor matters.
I don't think we're gonna change anybody's minds in the room right now. So we can go on to the next thing: features. Do you care?
I say it's
I need a clarification on what features you
Features,
referenced
like
by
apps,
features.
You know, other things that it does aside from gaming. Because let's be honest here, Microsoft got a lot of flack because they were, you know, focusing on TV and things like that.
And then
it
they
makes
dropped
sense
TV, and
because
then
it was-
PlayStation picked up TV.
It was E3, and now Sony's picking up TV after what, a year and a half after
Yeah.
the system cycle.
Exact-
And now Sony's focusing on the things that Microsoft was getting criticized for.
But that's because they're doing it better. I mean, PlayStation View is going to, or Sony View, I think is what they're going to be calling it. Is,
Sony View.
Yeah, is going to be amazing.
but it also requires you to buy an extra peripheral and spend more
No, it
money.
doesn't.
Yes, it does.
What are you talking about?
You don't have to buy PlayStation TV in order to use it.
No,
PlayStation TV.
PlayStation View, you're talking about Sony View?
PlayStation. Yeah, the Sony View, their TV streaming service.
I'm pretty sure. Well, I think you
They're
have to
both
have
streaming
gold,
services.
but I mean,
Yeah,
that's
that you
besides
have to have
the
that
point.
to
You
play
have to
online
have,
with.
you have to have Plus, yeah.
Yeah, you had to have that anyway to game online with PS4.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's PC Master Race. We don't
Yeah,
we
right.
don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I pay for everything. There's no vote PC.
I know there's no vote PC in this debate.
Yeah, that would be
Be
Another-
kind of unfair. Just saying.
another shutout. But you have to realize that all the stuff that Sony has, they have their camera like the Kinect or whatever, and you had to spend an extra $100 to get it.
Yes, that was actually
So-
$60.
When it came out, it was $100.
No, I bought it when it came out.
No,
It was
it's
$60.
Was it 60?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's cheap.
the
It was.
PlayStation Eye.
It's worth more now because of how hard it is. to
Yeah.
find. It was. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
No.
I thought that was really strange. Like, they
Yeah.
were flying off the shelves. I was like, what?
They were
I
just.
thought no one cared about that.
Yeah.
I thought that was the whole
yeah.
reason why you went with PS4 because you didn't give a fuck.
Well, then they released that game with your whole living room and you play with things and throw the little guys around.
You
People
mean
seem to
like,
like that.
every Kinect game? That's literally every
Yeah.
Kinect game.
But they featured it on their desktop.
This
No, it's,
But people care about things when it's in their face.
it's different because it's Sony.
That's right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
exactly
right.
what
Sony can do no wrong.
It's true that everything they do is just straight gold.
It kind of is.
We go with that. But anyway, all the stuff that Sony's trying to do now, this PlayStation TV, the Kinect, all requires peripherals that you had to buy secondhand, and not secondhand. I'm sorry. You had to buy as an extra peripheral, and it on the Xbox it already comes. Xbox already comes optimized with TV and all that stuff, and all you just need to do is plug in your.
You don't have to buy anything extra for the Sony View. It's
It-
literally a
it
software
doesn't-
app.
It's an account.
I
you have
didn't
to
say
have a-
Sony View. I said Sony
You
PlayStation
have to pay
TV.
extra a month for the service.
Yeah, it's like $10
Yeah,
a month
I
or
think that's
something.
what he's talking about.
Okay, so there is extra to it.
Yeah, but you're getting cable TV. It's actual cable TV.
But you're still paying extra for it.
Okay, all right.
So it'll make the price of the online play the same as
So,
Xbox Live?
so let me ask you. So yeah, which already has TV, but
Not anymore. They dropped their TV service.
No, they didn't.
No.
They just stopped. They just stopped
They
like.
stopped talking about
stopped
it.
Yeah,
talking
they
about
stopped
it.
giving a
It's
shit.
still there.
What have they done for it?
Whatever they did originally, I don't know. I didn't give a
was
shit
gonna
about
say,
it.
I know they did the Halo thing.
Oh, you mean the TV shows? Like the,
Yeah,
the
their
shows?
actual TV
There's,
service.
Halo's coming out, and then also the
Quantum Break.
the Quantum
Yeah.
Break show is also supposed
Which
to be coming
that's
out.
gonna be
That's also a
awesome.
thing. I think it's really interesting. I was gonna talk about that a little later. It's another Xbox exclusive it's gonna be a game and a show, and you interact with the game. I think it's a really cool idea.
I mean, Sony right now is doing the same thing with as far as original content, I think they're.
Well, they have
they're
powers.
with
The powers. They had the Ratchet and
I
Clank movie
haven't-
coming out.
Yeah, well, that's gonna be going out into.
That's
theaters, isn't it?
that's
It's going to be released on the PlayStation console as well at the same time.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they're simul launching it. They announced it at E3 last year.
okay.
Well, what I was gonna say was, I don't know. Have you been watching Powers and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Are you enjoying?
No,
the
I
TV
like that.
services they're
The
putting out?
quality is amazing. Like me and
Yeah.
David were watching. We're just like, it's almost too HD for HD. It's like,
Yeah, it's really. I think it's unrealistic. To be honest, it's
Yeah,
too
like,
insane.
Ultra realistic.
Like
Yeah, like-
it's retarded.
like
cartoon.
I've never seen quality like
it's
that.
not a cartoon.
No, I'm just
But,
because
but
you
yeah,
said
the clarity on like everything. It's like Sony was just like, fuck it, let's use our most expensive cameras we got in the studios and film a TV show with them.
Well, I would hope so.
but that's not normally what you get from
Yeah,
a
no,
TV show.
honestly, the Halo show was terrible. But anyway,
The Halo show was pretty horrendous. I'll give you
I
that.
like how you call it the
I
Halo
love it. It was
show.
like, yeah,
We don't call it Nightfall, it's the Halo show.
I forgot what it was called. I wanted to like remove it from my memory, to be honest.
That's fair. But isn't he going to be like a major character in Halo 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just a reminder for you guys to vote. Check the bottom of the screen. It has it scrolling down on the bottom how to vote. I think when I changed the camera view, it went away. So
yeah. When it changes back to you, it goes away. Yep.
So we want to hear your voices. I'm going to refresh this and see where we're at right now. It hasn't moved yet, so maybe people aren't voting. So I do stress vote. Make your voice heard. Vote or die.
Vote PlayStation and vote often.
So the next thing is this is the most fun thing, and I think it's even more fun because E3 is coming up soon,
Right.
and it's about games. So the first party, third party, and partnerships, all those things.
Neil, do you want?
I mean, if we're talking first party, I mean, I'm here to represent Sony, but you can't beat Nintendo in first party.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
not.
in first party sport, it's never going to happen. I mean, you can have all the Halos in the world, you can have all the Uncharted's and SOCOMs and, you know, every other game under the sun, but you're never going to beat a Mario game or a Smash Brothers or a Pokemon game.
Your mic's
It's just
falling, by the way.
doesn't happen. It does that. It's falling.
It's tighten the.
Yeah, I don't want to tighten this one.
But yeah, I mean, just even with like their new titles that are like exclusive, like fucking
Star Fox.
Splatoon?
Splatoon.
Like what the fuck? I didn't expect Splatoon to get that.
The thing
ridiculous.
is, I had a feeling that game was gonna be hard to get, and I had a feeling it was gonna explode because of like how different it was, and it was Nintendo. So all three of those things squished
But that's
together.
not a first party game, you know that, right?
GameCube forever. What's up, Mork? That is a first party. Yeah, that's theirs.
Yeah, it's a Nintendo game.
I'm pretty sure the whole thing was it was one of the third party games that's coming on the Nintendo.
Which one?
Splatoon?
Splatoon.
Splatoon.
Well,
Are you
they
saying
have
it's not
Amiibos,
being
so-
made by Nintendo? Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, yes, but that
Is it published by Nintendo or something like
it's
that?
it's only in Soul. It's a Nintendo exclusive.
That's why they have Amiibos for them.
That's what I'm saying. I thought the whole thing about Splatoon
Is
was
that
that it
it's
wasn't
third
by
party.
Nintendo, it was by another developer
Which is awesome, 'cause
exclusively for the Wii.
they
And
need
think
that.
about it, you can't make games on the Xbox One, the PS4, and the Wii. Look what happened with Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs is Watch Dogs even come out yet for the Wii U?
Yeah, it came out. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, but
Did it get
Was
canceled?
I was hoping it
developed
did.
by
I thought it
Nintendo. Splatoon was developed by Nintendo Entertainment Analysis and Development.
Okay. So
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
All right.
So
So
it's
it's
still first party.
yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Maybe
Wow,
I'll
I-
Smash.
I think okay. I could have sworn I read somewhere that it was just a third
No,
party
publisher
thing.
was Nintendo.
Okay.
But they're not here right now, aside from.
Oh, Squirtle.
I'm not in there. You ruined the effect.
Look, I'm having a hard time
Illusion's
arguing with
gone.
Squirtle over there.
So between Xbox One and PS4.
I'm gonna let Neil start with this, and then
No, ladies first.
Such
Oh,
politeness.
shots
All of a
fired.
sudden.
there's there's a lot of games coming out this year. There's Scalebound, which will be coming out. A lot of people forgot about it.
Platinum Games.
That game is awesome.
Yes,
I
know.
cannot wait for that game
Scalebound is
to
right
come
around the
out.
corner.
Holy
Cuphead is
shit.
another really cool indie game that
I
I'm
need to
really
figure out what the fuck that is.
check out Cuphead.
I'm
That
gonna
game
pull it
looks
up
so
right now.
much
Cuphead
fun.
looks cool.
Cuphead looks
Have you seen it?
amazing.
What is?
It's
okay. I'm gonna
It's
find
like
out.
in like 1930s style.
It's like
animation,
you know
or
those
40s style.
cartoons from like the 70s, like
It's
Tom and
looks
Jerry
older
and stuff.
than that, man.
It does it.
Yeah.
All right, I got.
That's what I'm used to,
Really
and
muted brownish like. kind
Oh
of
my
tones.
god.
it looks so cool. I'm really excited for that. Of course, Halo 5 Guardians
That looks
is
awesome.
also coming out.
Forza.
I'm sorry,
Forza.
Forza, yeah, the next Forza.
Which is
I can't
like
imagine.
clockwork
Like,
every year.
you
Well,
know-
same with
Yeah.
the Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
I mean,
And you know, I find it really odd that like when people
think-
like
Gran Turismos aren't every year.
when
No,
gamers
it's not.
talk
It's like every 3 years.
when
once a
gamers talk.
generation.
Take care, Miss Missy. Thanks for stopping by. When gamers talk like racing games, people just don't talk.
Like
they,
when
they,
the-
they immediately is the camera being weird. No. Okay. But people just talk like they kind of say it and then like it goes away. Like nobody ever like is like super stoked on that. Is it?
It's
Is this?
frozen now.
Yeah, I was
hit
gonna
the
say, I
check
thought-
mark and then hit it again. Just double click it.
Which check mark?
The one next to video capture device. Yeah, you should be back.
So continue. You had Halo 5 Guardians.
We
which
have
can all agree
Halo
is a
5.
great game. So
Sorry about that.
I will give you points on Halo 5.
Gears of War.
I've never been a fan of Gears.
the HD remake. I know you don't give a shit about Gears,
That's
but
an
it doesn't
HD
mean
remake?
people don't.
I
Get,
mean,
well, I mean, it's not official yet, but
I'm
there
about to say,
will.
we're going into remakes. Sony's the king of remakes.
Hang on a second.
They-
God of War 15 times. I mean,
God of War. Really?
God of War is not a what? A remake? Like
they've
they
remade
did-
God of War like 50
they made
times.
one. They did one HD remake of it.
God
and
of
it was,
War is not on PS4.
God of War 3, the HD remix is.
The HD remake is.
Well, let me
What?
pull it up on my list.
I know.
thought
I know they
it's
made
out
the
now?
they made the collection like
The collection was for PS3.
They made a God of War
Yeah.
collection for PS3. I know that.
Let's see. God of War 3 remastered. Actually, sorry, it comes out July 14th.
That's what I thought. I was like,
Okay.
it's not out yet.
Listen, that doesn't change. People went nuts for Master Chief collection. That doesn't mean they're not going to go nuts for Gears of War. Everyone's going crazy.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, remasters, though, are kind of like... I mean, Final Fantasy
That's
X
still a
and
release.
X2.
But I mean, we're
Just came
talking
out.
like if we're talking like new titles that are
I thought that's what we were talking about. I thought we were talking
Not
about
like
new titles. that were
releases.
Oh,
console
also
exclusive.
Fable.
even
Fable's a
still.
thing.
I mean, they've got things. Both systems have some big titles like coming out. I mean, you've God of War. I mean, that's even no, that's more of a HD remake. But I mean, you've had what?
We had Bloodborne.
Bloodborne's on Xbox One too, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Bloodborne?
No, Bloodborne was made by Sony.
Okay, maybe. Yeah, I'll look it
Yeah,
up.
it's in house.
I've got the list right here.
Okay.
We got DayZ is going to be console exclusive to PlayStation 4. Dead Nation has always been on Sony platforms. Disgaea 5 is PlayStation 4
Wait, there's a new
exclusive.
Damnation coming out?
I didn't say Dead
Oh, I thought you
Nation.
said Damnation.
I
was
said
like,
Dead
what?
Nation.
Oh, okay.
Don't Starve is a console exclusive for PS4.
Do it again.
Dragon Quest Heroes are both Sony exclusives. Drive Club Sony, obviously. Dynasty Warriors 8 Extreme
Just
Legends.
click it twice. It's
I
not
mean-
gonna do it immediately, but like
The list goes on and on of console exclusives for Sony coming out this year. Me and Joe were just talking about J-Stars is going to be coming to Sony. this
the
month?
legality behind that is crazy to me still, because like all those games and shows are like owned by so many different people. Like
Yeah, but they're all Japanese.
they are, but
That's-
like over
Makes it-
there,
streamlines it.
but over there, they're owned by different people, or they owned by the same
That's like
company.
Capcom
And for
versus
anybody who
Marvel.
But
does not
here-
know, Square apparently
that's
just
true.
announced the Final Fantasy VII will be coming to the PS4 as a console exclusive this year.
Yeah, but it's just a regular.
That's what I'm saying. If we're talking about remixes and rehashes.
That's not remaster though. That's just a port.
Yeah.
Straight port.
But, you know, Final Fantasy 14 was a console exclusive
Yeah.
to the PS4.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
There's
14?
an 14's on the Xbox
Yeah,
One.
14's definitely on Xbox One.
It says console exclusive PS4.
Well, your list is wrong.
Realm where you were born.
It's definitely on the Xbox One.
What? Final Fantasy 14?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, it
Oh, I
is.
didn't know it was. I thought it was.
Nobody
There,
plays them.
someone in my house wanted to buy it, and they almost bought the Xbox One version. That's how I know.
Crazy.
I don't know.
Was
'cause
it
I know
a-
they were talking
a
about how they had to get...
exclusive or something?
No, it says timed on here if it's timed. Gran Turismo is obviously console exclusive. Grim Fandango is a console exclusive to PS4. And lots of people care about Grim Fandango. Guilty Gears, console exclusive to PS4.
These are all like Japanese like stuff. Like this is.
Guilty Gears?
It is.
Guilty Gear is a very.
This is not Japanese.
That is Japanese.
It's Japanese.
And Guilty Gear's awesome. Still.
Yeah,
Hyper
I wouldn't.
Neptunia Victory 2?
Yeah. That's-
Like this is
But
that
there's-
list
that's a game
shouldn't
that
count.
Both Derek and Mark's wife are both excited about Hyperdimension Neptunia.
That's fine. Okay.
The Infamous games.
What's
There's, like,
going
three
on?
other people.
1v1 meme.
I mean,
1v1 mem?
there's
80?
infinite games that are just going to be only. I mean,
I'm
granted,
sorry, I didn't get
nothing-
I didn't get a complete comprised list of every single game that's going to be released for the next 10 years.
homework.
I just got the relevant games that people give a shit
Dying
about.
out.
Listen, man. There's people that care about every game that comes out. You can't just rest on your laurels of Halo.
I didn't say just Halo. I mentioned other games as well.
I mean, a lot of people were saying that Microsoft's show this year for E3 at least is as far as first party is.
It's pretty. I think so. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. A lot of people are really excited for Scalebound. Ugh. What does Nintendo have?
Yeah,
The
well,
new
I mean,
Zelda,
if you're
maybe?
talking about-
Star
actually,
Fox?
Star Fox and the new Zelda.
Zelda got pushed back.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
pushed back to 2016.
Zelda got pushed back. Also,
Mario Maker.
Quantum Break got pushed back, and Uncharted got pushed back. So, like, those are three heavy hitters across
Every
all three
consoles,
companies
yeah.
that got pushed back.
I can agree with
There
that.
is going to be a new Ratchet and Clank game coming out this year.
I would hope so. I don't understand why they would make a movie and not make a game to accompany
There's
it.
And
also-
Street Fighter V is going to be a console exclusive to the PlayStation 4.
Okay, all right.
And people care about that.
I'm not. Yeah,
What
sure.
about Tomb Raider, though?
Tomb Raider is a timed exclusive to the Xbox.
Doesn't matter. It's still exclusive.
Well, so is
I'm
Binding
sure,
of Isaac.
I'm sure
It's
that
timed
I'm
exclusive
sure
to
that
the
Ultra
PS4.
Street Fighter V will come out on. And then
Yeah,
that's the
it's-
loophole of saying that
and then Super Ultimate Street Fighter V
well,
and
I'm sure there'll be a version of it.
Super Ultimate Street Fighter V Arcade Edition. Don't forget about
Especially
that.
since it's gonna be on PC as well. But
No, I am upset
There's-
there's still
there's-
not a Marvel vs. Capcom coming out there.
there's also
I know.
It's not a, it's
They
not
should
on
make a
list.
Marvel vs.
We
Capcom
live in
4.
strange
Spelunky's a
times now,
console
guys.
exclusive to the PS4.
We live in strange times because now we have partnerships forming onto Sony's side that would have normally have been the opposite.
There's a reason for this. I was going to cover it when we went into tech
That's
specs.
because they have more systems sold.
Well-
That's the reason.
Oh no, actually there was a whole big thing that happened. Like last
Titanfall,
generation.
like Respawn Entertainment.
No. Last generation, Sony was really headstrong about them being a better console manufacturer because of the success of the PS2. So they went ahead and built their proprietary processing system, the cell processing system for the PS3, and didn't realize how expensive it was for any other manufacturer to port their games from the existing publishing platforms to the cell processing platform. So they lost a lot of the third-party manufacturers, which is why the Xbox 360 had such a large library of exclusive games, because a lot of the smaller studios didn't have the money to put their game on the PlayStation 3. So which is why when this generation rolled around, both manufacturers agreed to build their systems on the same platform.
Yeah. But I would say that the partnerships, the new partnerships that are forming with other companies, is attributed to the fact that Sony's outselling
Oh, yeah.
by a large margin.
Well, they just released that
Xbox.
last
Well, the Xbox
month.
One is catching up. I don't know if you. In May, Xbox One out. Oh, not. I'm sorry, April. They outsold PS4,
April.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sony just lost that lead. Like they literally.
and they lost it for the holiday season too.
Yeah, it happened,
Let's not forget about
It's
that.
happened 2 months out of since a month and a year and a half since they've been out.
Eh,
Doesn't change.
So,
Okay.
I would agree with you. That is some momentum that they're building,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still too early.
But
to
it's at
really
the same
say.
time, you're also talking about if there's 20 million gamers in America and 10 million went out and bought PS4 in the first year, well, they're not going to buy a second PS4 in the second year. So if they've got that extra money laying
They're gonna
around,
get-
they're going to get an Xbox One.
The reality is, most of the people are going to end up having both.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way it always ends in these console generations. You rarely see too many people with just one console.
I
mean,
know a couple of
David,
people
you
that just
have
a Wii,
you have an Xbox
Wii U.
One and a Wii. Joe has all three. I currently have a PlayStation 4 and a Wii. But I'm shopping around thinking about getting an Xbox One. I'm still on the fence.
Also, you have to also accrue that a lot of people went back and returned their PS4s in Christmas time because they just simply wouldn't work. They wouldn't connect to online services for the Christmas season. And not only was it just for Christmas Day, it was
Yeah, it was like
till
a 24
January.
day.
Yeah, it was in the middle of January they got their
From a
services
consumer
back.
perspective, the early sales were affected by the I'm not sure what the exact term was for it, but the inability to stream from the system. That was a big problem.
Yeah.
The PS4, you couldn't do it. And it wasn't even something like the first wave of the systems. It wasn't a software issue. You literally physically could not put a HDMI cable in the system that would work. So people had to return those systems, get the second wave of the systems, and there was still a software update that they had to do for people to be able to stream it. It was a pain in the ass when it first came out. You just could not, and for no reason, really. For no real reason. They just shut down all streamers, which was kind of why? We want to promote your system, we want to promote your game. But that was kind of annoying.
Did they need it?
No, there wasn't really any games for any system coming out in the first year.
The first year was
The first year was
Maybe
a
not.
terrible year.
But, I mean, it's one of those things that why shut it down? Like,
Yeah.
why stop it?
Well, that's because they had it built into the console. They were trying to push the built-in share button.
And we can see how bad that is.
Yeah.
Like, that's on both systems.
I forgot there
That
was
is
a
on
share
both
button.
That's on
Yeah.
both systems.
Oh, the share button's not.
I mean,
working well?
they both have the ability to stream.
Yeah.
But the streaming servers on both systems innately blow.
Yeah.
They are bad.
Which I will give that
I
point to
thought you were trying
Microsoft.
say
They're
that
going
the
to fix
share- like,
that.
There was a physical problem with the controller. For the share
Yeah, there's support with Windows 10 and like PC streaming, like between like the console and the PC. I think that's gonna be really, really great.
I mean, I'd agree to that point. For streaming, the Xbox One, once Windows 10 comes out, will have an advantage over every other one because you don't have to have a secondary capture card to do it, which is nice.
Yeah.
So we talked about it a little bit as far as the streaming and also the fact that people were returning their system online connectivity. Who has the better online?
I think
connectivity?
Xbox definitely wins
I
in
think
against
Nintendo
Wii U.
wins here.
Hey man, Nintendo.
I say
everything's-
what?
Everything's
What?
built into the
First
games.
of all, Squirtle is upset
Squirtle.
because he is here.
Well, first of all, man, Nintendo's got. I mean, I never had an issue with their online connectivity with Pokemon or Smash.
Yeah, because nobody gives a shit.
People care, David. People care.
Okay.
Squirtle cares.
Well, no. Smash.
Squirtle.
All right. Ow. So yeah, that was a huge problem with Smash Brothers and it's always been a problem with Nintendo. And you would think after all,
I was talking specifically 3DS.
Well, 3DS was. I think that one had better
Yeah.
coverage than on the Wii U, like on the system. You would think that as a company, they've seen how crappy the internet connection has been on the Wii.
But it's free.
It doesn't. It's pointless. You can be free for like the worst connection. Nobody's.
I know.
gonna use it.
PS2 and PS3 had awesome free.
Right, but like the thing is, you would think that after all these years, they've had time to like see this. Hey, this is a problem. We might need to make this be a big thing, especially if this is a huge title for us. And they still came out with and used the shittiest network adapter inside the Wii, the cheapest one they could find, literally. Like,
Oh, remember for the GameCube, they made you buy the network adapter.
you still have to buy the
box?
network adapter for that.
Oh, really?
It does not have an Ethernet plug on the back of it. It just does not. And so it has a built-in wireless adapter which blows.
Are you talking about for the Wii U?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't have Ethernet port. Yeah.
It's fucking stupid. Is what it is. So even if you buy like the Ethernet adapter, which I have done because I was like, oh, I really want to play Smash. I want the best possible connection. We have the best internet we can buy here. I'm like,
No,
all
you
right.
don't.
let's-
Do you think it really
well,
matters
we did. What,
if the
internet?
person you're playing with has terrible internet?
That's the other thing I was gonna get to.
on Nintendo, it does
'Cause-
matter.
on Nintendo, it does matter because of how shitty their connection is.
Yeah, they don't have streamlined servers like
It's
the other two.
dropped to the person who has the lowest ping. So if the
Oh,
person
okay.
has the lowest ping,
Peer to peer.
right? So you can have the
Which
best
sucks
internet
for
in the
Mario
world,
Kart.
but it blows. Like it's just so stupid.
Mario Kart was
But-
terrible when you had like 8 guys driving. And you're like,
It made me very angry because they knew Smash Brothers. They even announced Smash Brothers with the like launch of the system. Like, hey, we're making a new Smash Brothers. So we were like, sweet, we're gonna get a system. We've got new hardware. They're gonna fix the internet. They must fix the internet. It's the one thing that they had a problem with the Wii U, and they didn't fix the fucking internet.
Well, also like now you have to have a PlayStation Plus account to do multiplayer online.
That's true.
Has that
only on the PS4.
well yeah, but we're talking about the PS4.
I know. I was just saying.
But has that affected their online in a positive way?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, it has.
I
The only positive is security. That's it. That's the
And
only
it hasn't been that secure.
Like both of them got hacked.
Yeah.
hang on a second.
Yeah.
They both got hacked, but
One was
Microsoft was
faster than-
back by.
like the next
Let's
day.
let's talk about Christmas 2014, okay? Nobody could connect to
Hold on.
the internet, okay? Nobody could connect to the internet.
Was that like a month?
No, for the PlayStation was a month.
Yeah.
On Christmas night, we had internet services. I was playing Destiny Christmas night.
Now here's my question though: How secure was your data on their service though? Because they didn't take the time to actually investigate what happened to their servers.
I didn't lose anything, so I don't give a fuck.
And I didn't really hear.
That
I never
that
saw
was-
any story about anybody getting hacked or hampered on the.
Sony closed down their servers voluntarily for a lot of that time because they wanted to investigate the
Well,
problem.
That's fine, but
They
they
didn't
didn't.
want to put.
Yeah.
They didn't want to put Bondo on the car door.
Okay,
like
but they had.
Microsoft did.
I think they had to. Look what happened back in 2012. Was it
Yeah.
when everybody got dominated and destroyed and their accounts got hacked and they had to give you 700 free games to make up for it and all this bullshit? That never happened on Xbox Live.
We should all thank those hackers though, because of that hack.
You are paying a month.
Because of that, you have to pay $50 a year. Congratulations.
Because of that hack, both console developers started giving free games away every month. That is what started the free games.
First of all, is it free if you have to pay a $10 a month fee?
No, they started that program as their apology for that hack.
I could have sworn they were giving them out before then. Maybe it was like smaller indie.
Oh, you're talking about
It was like smaller, like shitty games.
The free games of every month.
But like AAA titles,
No, they
like
weren't giving
Uncharted
out
3 and stuff,
yeah.
started out because of that.
Yeah.
And Microsoft didn't do shit. They didn't give you anything for free. And then to contend with the PlayStation
yeah.
giving away AAA games, they had to jump in it.
Because of that hack, everybody's getting
That's
free
an important
games.
point that you made. Being that they're competitors, it's awesome. I don't want to see either one of them do bad because it just makes one of them rest on their laurels.
Right.
But
Yeah.
let's okay. Since we're talking about their online services, which one gives you better free games and more free games every month?
That's it. I'll tell you. I'll give you a scenario. I went to play with Joe on Destiny when Destiny was a thing, and Joe only played on the PlayStation 4, and I was only Xbox. So to play with my friend Joe, I went and jumped on the PS3. Guess what? I could not complete a single multiplayer game. Out of 12 games, I completed maybe 3, and I always got timed out. I always got destroyed, and literally 5 minutes later.
Does it do crossplay between PS4 and PS3?
No.
No.
I heard him say that, but I assumed
Yeah.
that he meant PS4.
Well,
Okay,
maybe,
that's
did
what-
you
Did
ever
I say-
think? Did you ever think that it was your internet
Sorry.
connection, David? 'Cause
No,
you were-
because
you
5
were-
minutes later, I was on my Xbox, and I completed every game.
You were experiencing internet problems back then. I remember that.
That doesn't change the fact that on my Xbox, I didn't have
You were
experience.
the only one being timed out. Joe, were you getting timed out?
I don't remember. That was a long time ago.
I never heard Steven or Cody or any of those guys that were playing on PS4 talk about
Steven always got disconnected all the time.
Was Steven playing on
PS4.
PS4. I'm sorry, I keep saying
Cody
PS3.
was playing on Xbox though.
No, he
Yes,
played,
Cody was on
he-
Xbox.
yeah,
At that time
and then
he
he
was.
bought the PS4
We're
so he could
talking-
play
yeah,
with
back
Steven.
then.
Who? No,
Cody
Cody
did.
did not buy a PS4.
He has not bought a PS4.
I could
No.
have sworn he put a post on Facebook.
He lives in my house now. I would know.
That was long before he moved into your house, sir.
I was waiting for him to show
Maybe
up
he
in
got
chat,
rid of
that'd be
it.
funny.
Oh, welcome to the chat, Choco Hawk and Jeff Berg.
What's up?
So yeah, like I first of all, I instantly noticed the difference between Xbox One and PlayStation 4 because the quality is not insane. You don't notice it right offhand, but if you pay attention, you see that the quality on PS4 is just a little bit better. So the specs, that's where I have to go. Anyway, so yes, I agree with the specs, but in connectivity, Xbox just destroys it. It just obliterates it. I don't know how. I don't know why.
I don't feel that way. I've never had an issue.
I have people all the time having connectivity issues on PlayStation
I've
4.
never had an issue with it.
I talk to people all the time.
I mean, I've been using PlayStation's online servers since the year 2001, and I've never had an issue with it. I mean, even back when it was in the days of practically dial-up on SOCOM 1, never had an issue with their servers.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, the Squirtle is representing Nintendo. Choco Hawk. He only chimes in when he needs to.
Squirtle.
I was waiting for that. That was what that awkward silence was.
Like he pointed at it, and I was like, "What?" Oh.
All right. So, overall value. How does that play into your thoughts on your
To be honest, I
preferred
mean,
console?
overall value is kind of a moot point because that's based on the individual person. Like, I perceive a great value to my PS4. He perceives a great value to his Xbox One. Everybody, perceives the value based on their preference more than anything. Like,
That's mighty big of you.
I have to
Conflict here, goddamn.
I have to agree because
Well, I mean,
it's just
you
gonna be
might need
another
to pick
argument if
better
we just say
talking
so.
points.
I mean, obviously we're both fanboys for each other's like hardware. And
And
stuff.
I mean, I will say, like, I've had a lot of fun on Microsoft's gaming platforms, and I've got nothing against them, but the PlayStation 4 is a superior console as far as just, peer-for-peer, like, straight line stats on the consoles. It's a better console. It has the ability to have more longevity as a console because they did put that extra money in for the better processor, for the better GPU, for the better quality of the RAM. I think they put the
Okay.
2400 RAM in there.
So I have a question for both of you guys
okay.
and Squirtle. Where do you think the future holds for these consoles?
I am waiting to see what Morpheus brings to the PS4 experience.
I'm gonna put it out there, and I'm just letting you know. I don't think that VR is gonna take off.
I don't think so either. I'm with Rick. I don't.
I know for a fact it's not going to take off.
Yeah.
You want to know why it's not going to take off? Because it costs $1,000 fucking dollars.
Money.
Now.
Well,
That is bullshit.
Morpheus is not going to cost $1,000.
Watch.
Sony already announced that their price point on it is perceived to be $299.99.
Perceived.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the unit's made. They finished making it. They're just working on the software implementation.
Yeah,
I think it's the biggest gimmick or money grab. I don't even know what to say. I think it's a complete waste of time. I don't see why
What
it's.
about HoloLens?
HoloLens is only going to be for Windows 10, not for Xbox. There's no support for it right now.
Yeah, there's not. They haven't announced any support for Xbox. Maybe along the lines. Who knows? But if anything, I like the HoloLens. I think the HoloLens looks really cool.
The AR HoloLens looks really nice, but Microsoft's plan for it is for application implementation. Like they were showing, like to use it with like streets and trips and things like that to actually like.
That makes
Well,
sense.
All I want is Silent Hills to be saved, and then I want to have HoloLens on my head so that like they can just have ghosts in my house. Scare the shit out of you randomly. That is probably the only reason why.
That's another thing. I don't understand why everybody's really pissed off about Microsoft like going after Silent Hill and stuff like that.
What now?
They didn't go after him. You mean
like
try
trying
because they didn't try?
No, I heard that.
There
I
was
heard
a
that.
rumor.
I heard
There
that.
was a rumor.
Okay, I heard that like.
Phil Spencer was like, "That's not happening."
Oh,
I
okay.
don't want to mislead anybody. He said that like a day after.
Okay.
Those rumors got really big on the internet.
Yeah, because everyone's like, well, Microsoft's gonna get their hands on it, and they're gonna fuck it up, and they're gonna take the corporate whatever. And
I'm
it's like,
sure if Microsoft would have acquired it, they just would have let whoever. Do
I'm
what they
pretty
did.
sure if it was Silent, I don't play Silent Hills. Is
It would
Kojima?
have printed money, especially if Kojima was still involved.
I think that if Microsoft went after it, and would have got the rights for it, they would have hired Kojima on the spot. Who gives a shit? That's money in their pocket.
Oh, yeah.
If anybody who plays Silent Hill heard that Microsoft was helping produce a game with Hideo Kojima, that's
Well, I
it.
mean,
They're gonna say
anybody could have done that though. I mean, Sony could have went out there and been like, Kojima, come do this. We'll buy the rights. I mean,
okay.
this is
so
an if-then universe, and Kojima
but
walked
that,
away
but that
from
rumor
it.
didn't come up. That's
Yeah.
what we're talking about.
yeah, we're talking about the rumor that did come up, which was Microsoft trying to acquire the rights.
I think
What do you think the future holds for those systems as far as well, Dave? I'm going to ask you because
He already answered.
What do you think the future holds for Xbox One?
I'm really excited about this. I was doing some research on this before I came here, and I found out about this cloud gaming service, and I forgot about it because
They stopped talking about
they stopped talking about it. But I have to realize like my biggest surprise is if you look back at the 360, Halo 3 came out in 2007. The 360 had been out for what, 2 years, a year, right? And right now it looks like shit, but back then it was fine. But then you go back to Halo 4, which is 2012. It's 5 years later. Look at the graphical difference in Halo 4 to Halo 3. It's insane.
Compensation, all that stuff is.
And it's back to what we were talking about earlier, where they do the initial couple of years, they use 20% of the
that's-
system power.
that's done
Then they use
intentionally.
40. Yeah, I mean, it's both consoles were doing the same thing. I mean, look at Uncharted 1 to Uncharted 3.
Respected people have been saying that, even though there's the naysayers that are in the PC community saying that these are really weak systems, people are saying that both of these consoles have not met their potential.
Well,
Oh yeah, of course. I wouldn't expect them
It's-
to.
It is funny that the PC community says that because not too many people have a graphics card that has 8 gigabytes of RAM on it.
Or cores, the 8 cores too.
Yeah, 8-core processor built into the console. I mean, not many people have VRAM in their system that's pushing 2400 hertz. I mean, Joe, you're a master race guy. What's your graphics card? 4 gigabytes GDDR5, right? I mean, these consoles are 8 gigabytes GDDR5. They're the same as my machine right there. That's an 8 gigabyte GDDR5 machine. And that was the price of that graphics card was more than the cost of a PS4.
How much was it? Was
My
like,
graphics card was $435.
okay, yeah. So anyway, I think the future of Xbox is good. I think they have.
I mean, in all reality, though, both consoles more or less have the same future ahead of them. It's going to be bigger, better games as the console evolves to use more of its power.
I kind of have to agree. I
mean,
would agree with that.
That's just how consoles work.
Well,
I mean, the only difference in their futures is the direction the companies decide to take the extra features.
what are your thoughts on those directions now that that
I-
Sony's seeming to go.
I do like that Sony is going for a full, a full home entertainment box with it, where they're trying to get into every aspect of multimedia with their machine.
A lot of Sony fans were not happy about that. As far as not even Sony fans, but a lot of gamers in general, because a lot of people didn't like that Microsoft focused on that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird that it's now something the expectation.
I think you said a quote earlier is like it's okay because Sony's doing it. That's the kind of mentality that started going up, and
It's kind of hypocritical.
yeah, exactly. I completely agree. Microsoft's they're in the business of making money. They're not
They're both businesses, and this is something that's super important that I wanted to say is that they're both businesses and they both want your money. None of them is none of them care about you. To the extent of just getting your cash.
Yeah, I completely agree.
But people rallied behind Sony as if they were Jesus.
Yeah, it's that
weird.
that E3 before the PS4 and Xbox launch. I was so I just wanted to shut the TV off. I didn't want to watch it because I was just so angry.
And then again, that was right before the big Microsoft 180 when they decided to go back on everything
they
saying.
didn't have they're in the business of making money. So what do you expect?
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's why that E3 was so negative towards Microsoft is because people saw the always on,
I'm actually,
Connect.
I'm glad that happened because that means that they were out of touch with what people wanted.
I'm upset that they did. I know. I know you guys can't see me, but I'm gonna voice my.
That's because you're a ghost.
I am a ghost. I wish. I'm gonna pull this. I wish that Microsoft didn't go back on all of that stuff. Like, I wish they had kept stuck to their guns, and actually kept with all the DRM and everything that was done. They would have still lost in the initial rounds, like they did. Already.
Yeah.
But I think it would have both shown us that what they were trying to do initially was not a bad thing. It was a good thing.
Yeah, some of the stuff was.
I mean,
Name one thing that they were trying to do.
The always on camera.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's still on.
It's still on.
Shit is still on. Like
it's still the same thing. You can change it. I changed my Xbox so that it had power saving mode just because I don't give a shit about Kinect. But like it's still happening.
It's just. And the same thing was the case with Sony's camera. The only difference between the two systems was the fact that your camera was not in the same box and you had to buy it. That was it. Like, that was literally it. Like, every DRM thing about Microsoft and the Xbox One on launch date didn't change. Like, they should have just kept it the same and still launched the system with the same, mentality that they had going into it.
But Joe, it's different, so it's scary.
That's the problem. It was scary, but in order for us to do stuff and move forward, you're gonna do some scary shit. Somebody just has to have the balls to keep doing it. And I was really hoping Microsoft was gonna do it, but it didn't do it. But it is what it is. Back to the show.
Yeah, back to the show indeed. Scrolling on the bottom, the instructions on how to vote. Make your voice heard. We want to hear from you guys. We're gonna go into closing arguments right now.
I thought we just did
Starting
that.
with Squirtle.
Squirtle.
Fantastic. Okay.
Also, there's one part we didn't touch on. Controllers. That's a huge. That's a
That was
huge.
on the peripherals. We talked about that.
No, we did not talk about
We didn't
controllers.
We didn't talk about controllers specifically. But go ahead. I will give you the floor on controllers.
Well, I mean, look at the Wii controller, the gamepad, and
We control this.
the Wii controller is pretty bad.
What it can
sucks.
do is great.
I actually
size
like
of it,
the Wii
yeah.
U controller. I like the gamepad.
The fact that they're backwards compatible with every controller they've ever released.
If everybody would have, God damn it,
That is true.
If
That is pretty
everybody would
nice.
have developed for it, and
By the way, Sony
in
is
a
backwards
smart
compatible with
way
PS3.
that made
Yeah,
sense.
more of that.
And if they would have invested a little bit more money in the pad so that it had better battery life, it was a little faster and things like that, it would have been fucking awesome. But they didn't. So that sucks.
I obviously I'm gonna go for Xbox here, but the 360 controller was so perfect, and I didn't know how they were gonna capture it, like how they were gonna be able to do it all over again. I think the Xbox One controller is astounding, and I was playing on my 360 the other day. I can't play I can play it, but the controller is for me it just feels like shit when I'm so used to the Xbox One controller.
There's
It's
a lot of
so
criticisms,
wonderful.
About it though.
So much to the point that a company has made an adapter so that I can use my Xbox One controller on a PS4. Like, granted,
Well, they have it both
vice
ways.
versa.
I was gonna
They
say
have
that.
it both
I'm going to
ways.
say that, but if you look on that company's website, the reason they made that fucking thing was for the Xbox to PS4.
But you know why, right? Because there were so many people that had to quote unquote jump ship from Microsoft that they were used to that.
That's true.
It's something that they're used to in their hands to play, on the PS4. I mean, it makes sense. It's an easy transition.
Smart.
Yeah. Neil.
In all honesty, both companies went light years ahead in their controllers, going from one generation to the next. I mean, the PS4 added the personalized controller support, so now like my controller is the blue controller. No matter where I go in a room, no matter how we change who sits where, the system tracks me as the blue controller and puts me in the appropriate square. So if we're playing like a 4-player game, let's just say there was a Halo on the PS4, and I was player 1 in the top left corner because I was the furthest left player in the room. If I moved to the furthest right position in the room, it would automatically move my window to the bottom right, knowing that I needed that moved.
No, that's awesome. Yeah.
That is a pretty good feature.
And the built-in speaker in the PS4 controller.
I didn't think
really
anybody
nice.
played like multiplayer like on their home console though. Like I didn't think
There's
that
some
was a
that play
thing
like
anyway.
1 or 2 player, and if you move around, it's
I will give Sony the most improved controller award.
Yeah, like I said, I mean they moved light years beyond the freaking DualShock 3.
It's good because I was getting tired of the same ass controller.
Well, I mean, the DualShock 3 was crazy because it was like first it was the 6-axis. Oh no, sorry, it was the DualShock 2. Then it was the 6-axis. Then it was the DualShock 3.
Yeah.
Like they could not make up their mind during that generation.
All right. So now let's go into closing statements.
Squirtle?
Squirtle already had his, but you want to? Do you?
No, he was talking about controllers.
All right, he wants to.
Squirtle.
All right, cool. So we'll go with you, Dave. Closing arguments.
I mean, I don't even know where to begin. I think the Xbox One is good. I think the Xbox One this year is going to outshine. It has a lot more stuff when it's coming to E3. I'm looking forward to their conference. Of course, I'm going to watch the Sony conference, and we'll see what happens.
It's relevant to our lives, man.
It's yeah, we have to. It's still relevant.
All the.
But I think the future of the Xbox is looking really, really good. I hope I obviously I'm going to hope for the best.
All right. Better console for parts, peripherals, and specifications. For as far as games go, No Man's Sky exclusive for the PS4. That's all I have to say for gaming because that game is going to.
Why didn't you bring it up in the list of
I'm
games?
saving it for my closing arguments.
Okay.
This is called strategy.
Okay.
Or just forgetting.
No. We were talking about it before the show. I mean, the PlayStation 4 is the first company that's going to be releasing a 4K game for their platform with Uncharted when it comes out eventually.
Wait, PS4's
Is going to be
putting
pushing.
out a 4K game.
Yes, they've already released 4K gameplay footage on YouTube for it.
Wasn't Shadow of Mordor
No.
on 4K?
No.
On PC.
Oh, I was on a PC.
Yeah. As of right now, both consoles are stating 4K support for images and for videos,
That's curious because they were saying that these machines couldn't do 4K.
which is funny because if you think about it, that machine there is running almost the exact same specs as a PS4, and it can do 4K.
Interesting.
I don't.
But they did release a 4K gameplay footage video for Uncharted.
I'm pretty sure they were supporting it because the Xbox came with a cable that supported 4K. I don't
For
understand.
video-
Well,
for
that's
video.
for video, though. That's for video.
They both came out of the box saying we support it for video and
That's
we
for
support it for images.
So you can stream like on Netflix 4K.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Okay.
But here's the other question. that goes with
Interrupting
that.
my closing arguments.
Well,
you
'cause
guys are so
You
rude.
dropped a bomb on me. I didn't realize they were going to do that. I'm sorry. How many frames is it going to be going at?
That's a question we're going to have to ask when the game comes out. I mean, until they release more data.
All right. Now, continue. I'm sorry.
But I mean, the console is the only console pushing forward and trying to push boundaries as far as like with the Morpheus and things like that. Sony is constantly evolving. It's not only a company, but as a gaming platform. We've seen that with PlayStation TV, with the PlayStation Now streaming services, with the fact that they realize that gaming is going to streaming cloud-based gaming. So they jumped in ahead of time and made sure they bought up all these servers and bought up all these platforms so they could find and get the best ones for their gaming experience, which now you can use with your smartphone, with your TV, with your DVD player. As long as it has the proper Sony software, you can play PlayStation Now in your home on any of those devices without even a PlayStation device. Like, Sony as a company is a great company that's always thinking forward, and that just streamlines into the PS4 with being a console that's going to keep moving forward rather than staying at release and just evolving to what its potential can be.
Nicely said. All right, now we want to hear from you guys at home. One last chance to vote, and then we're going to give a little bit of time so you guys can actually cast those votes, and we'll check back with you in a couple of minutes.
Okay, so for everybody who just got in the chat, if you want to vote, what you need to type is !vote, and then the whatever system you want to do. So it'll be !vote, then !vote. There you go. Just like
No, Kristen did it wrong.
The exclamation mark goes first,
Yeah.
Kristen. But
Yeah, I know.
it's !vote,
What?
then exclamation
Okay.
mark
What?
vote.
Are they
Is it
black?
supposed to be black?
Or exclamation mark vote.
I think turn the camera off.
And Xbox. So for whichever one you want to vote for.
All right, people, get those votes tallied in. Jeez, Squirtle, you're so dominating.
Oh, that's what you.
All right, we got another
Yeah,
minute
that's
left, guys.
So he ghosted the other stuff.
Yeah, he took the picture. I gave him a picture at 1980 by 1240. And he,
What I'm saying is he ghosted your. Oh, sorry.
Squirtle.
All right, guys.
It depends on the
let's see what
game. I have to
final
move it around.
numbers are.
Oh really? Oh, okay.
like Ori and the Blind Forest, that's your health
All
bar.
right.
You're never playing Ori again.
So
Finals.
the final
I'm at the very, very bottom.
tabulation right now is PS4 with 20%, and then Wii U with the remaining 80%. 0 Big Donut for Xbox One.
Yeah, I see that.
Thanks for the follow.
Ooh, Kai Babo.
Choco
Hawk.
Hawk.
Choco Hawk. 'Cause
Choco-
Hawk makes me want chocolate.
I'm thinking a Choco Hawk like a Chocobo.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Said it perfectly, Squirrel.
Squirtle.
I mean,
thanks for
we said starting this it was gonna be hard to argue against Squirtle. I mean, he is my favorite Pokemon.
I'm gonna like text Mark and be like, you won.
Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll have another show for you
Saturday,
10 o'clock.
Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will have the Skype chat ready for Saturday. So if you have Skype and you want to get in on the show, get that ready for Saturday night at 10 p.m.
It's gonna be the Nintendo and third-party developer pre-E3 show.
Right. So yeah.
And then next week, we're going to have another episode of the ProNo show, but then the week after that,
We'll be taking a hiatus.
we'll be taking a hiatus. Yes. So tune into that one as well. You guys have a great night. Thanks for joining us.
Bye-bye.
No, whiteboard.